sorry, y'all, but the Fed does not need any more of our money. The Fed does not need any more of our money. So, in respect to people like Bernie Sanders and others that are fighting to raise the federal minimum wage, I say no. That is a trap. That is how we stay stuck in this rat race and this hamster wheel. The thing that we need to be doing is spreading the wealth amongst ourselves, meaning put the money directly into the hands of the people, and I guarantee you the people will do right within their communities. The people will fight for their communities and build their communities up. When people are well funded, in addition, have less reasons to commit crime. People, when they are well funded, they will support those local businesses and they will support their local charities, food banks, shelters, and soup kitchens, and so on. There is no need for the Fed to get any more of our money. So no, fighting for a higher federal minimum wage just to get into a higher tax bracket is not the answer that we need. Fighting for overtime is not what we need. Fighting for a raise is not what we need. Getting a second job is not what we need. That is just a higher tax bracket. What sense does any of that make? Again, if we create the system that would allow us to spread the wealth amongst ourselves, and we do this tax-free, we make this so that the exchange of currency is loans and donations. That is non-taxable. So for once in our lives, we have a tax-free freaking dollar in this country, and the monies go directly to the people, so that the people can decide what is right for their communities and not government. We keep surrendering our power to these people. We keep submitting ourselves to these. How does any of this benefit us? The Fed does not need any more of our money. So again, a nationwide nonprofit organization is a humanitarian effort so that we can spread the wealth amongst ourselves. We generate more than enough money to go around. You see how they abuse our funds as it is, and we're taxed to death already as it is. So why is raising the federal minimum wage the way to go? Why do we keep insisting on this shit? It doesn't make any sense. Help, the math ain't mathing here, people. Make it add up. Make it make sense, please. So no, we do not need a higher federal minimum wage. We do not need to get ourselves into a higher tax bracket. No, the Fed does not need any more of our money. We spent over $1 trillion between Christmas and Thanksgiving alone. We've raised over $1 trillion for the Powerball on numerous occasions. We spent $19 trillion as consumers in 2024. We spent $21 trillion as consumers in 2025. And here we are in 2026 on track to spend $22 trillion. That's like $60 trillion freaking dollars in 3 years. That's higher than the national deficit. So how is it that the national deficit creates so much chaos for us? Because they misspend the money, we have to pay for it. Now we want a higher federal minimum wage just to pay more taxes. Hello? Somebody help me here? Connect the dots. Connect the dots, people. Like, seriously consider this. Again, a nonprofit organization, a nationwide humanitarian effort to spread the wealth amongst ourselves, and we do this tax-free. That's what we need to be getting into, a tax-free incentive. Just like we were so generous and so quick to jump on the Spirit Airlines trend and try to nationalize that, we need to nationalize a nonprofit organization that would allow us to spread this wealth amongst ourselves, because that will trickle down to the economies, directly to the people, to the economies. That will trickle down to the communities, directly to the hands of the people. And again, I have faith that the people will do right by their communities and help build up their communities and support the things that need the actual support directly within their communities. Our schools, our hospitals, whatever. Our charities, our food banks, so on and so forth. So I say put the money directly into the hands of the people. We get a tax-free incentive for once in our lives. Not a higher federal minimum wage. That's not the flex. That's not the way to go. That's an injustice to our children's future too, by the way. Remember, the decisions we make today will affect them later. Look at how we're living now. Everything that we have, we inherited from our grandparents and our parents, and the system is not working for us. So it's not about raising the federal minimum wage. That is not the answer. Everything that is continuously happening to us right now with this, at the hands of this administration, 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 years from now, it's going to happen all over again. And we're going to be having the same argument. Raise the federal minimum wage. Now, put the hands directly into the hands of the people.